Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sofia Dame, and today I'm excited to present Cross-Linguistic Connections in the Content Area, a Science and Literacy Integration. The project is based on Dr. Lucio del Castillo Perez Literacy Framework, and we'll explore how cross-linguistic strategies can strengthen student understanding, especially in science. As an educator, we often focus on developing context knowledge and language separately. But what if we could intentionally build bridges between the two languages in a dual language classroom? Dr. Rocío del Castillo Pérez emphasized that when we create opportunities for students to reflect on language patterns, we foster biliteracy. Cross-linguistic comparison allows students to transfer knowledge from one language to another while also increasing metalinguistic awareness. This approach is not just academic, it's empowering. In my next slide, I'm going to focus on life cycle and science. I choose to focus this lesson on a second grade science unit about animal life cycle, specifically aligned with TEKS standard SCI .2.10.d. Students are expected to observe and compare how animals develop over time. In this lesson, we integrate literacy and science by analyzing the life cycle of insects in both English and Spanish. This helps students expand vocabulary, understand content, and make deep language connections. In our target language skill, we focus on 4 key vocabulary words: eggs, larva, pupa, and adult. These are central to the life cycle unit. En Spanish, las palabras son huevo, larva, pupa, and adulto. These offer an ideal chances to discuss language structures. For example, we have cognates like larva and pupa are identical. The suffix tion in English often becomes ción in Spanish. Think about it. Population versus población. We also address syntax like the position of adjectives in Spanish versus English. Our instructional goals are fourfold. First, we introduce vocabulary across both languages. Then, we help students notice linguistic similarities and differences. After that, we use an anchor chart for visual support. Finally, we encourage metalinguistic conversation that help students reflect on language use. By linking these goals to content, we are not just teaching science or Spanish. We are teaching students to think in and about language. One of the examples of activity we can use is life cycle detective. This activity have our student learn, and we can teach that learning is a board. They can have a lot of fun. So let me talk to you through the cross-linguistic activity life cycle detective. And we start with a visual warm-up. The student view images of insects at different stage and share what they notice. Then I introduce vocabulary in English First, following by Spanish using visuals, aids, and gestures. Next, we co-construct an anchor chart. Students match vocabulary across both languages and classify them as cognate or false cognates. Using guiding questions, students reflect, what do you think these words are similar? Or what do you notice about the ending? Then they apply what they have learned by drawing the life cycle of an insect and labeling it in both language. And finally, students do a turn and talk when they explain one stage of the life cycle using a sentence in English and then in Spanish. Here is an example of the T-chart that we'll create together. We have English, Spanish, and the type. We start writing the egg in English, in Spanish is huevo, and the type is false cognate. Then we have the larva in English, larva in Español, and this is a cognate. Then we have in English pupa, in Spanish we have pupa, and the type is cognate. Then in English we have adult, in Spanish we have adulto, and the type is cognate. So we can use some green color for cognates or red for false cognates. Here I put different colors for the PowerPoint, but it's very important to use just 2 colors, please, no more than 3. Depend on the words that we are using, the line of the words. And this visual reference helps students retain vocabulary and language distinctions while also reinforcing their cognitive skills. In metalinguistic prompts, these are the type of questions that really spark critical thinking. We can ask, what do you think these words are similar? Or what do the ending tion and sion mean? Or how do prefixes or suffixes help us figure out meaning in both languages? These prompts are key to developing metalinguistic awareness, which research shows is foundational to biliteracy development. And why language connection matter? Language connection matter because they promote in our students cognitive flexibility, because our students can see that one concept can be expressed in multiple ways. Also, promote the confidence they realize their knowledge in one language support their learning in another. And last, vocabulary growth because they build networks of meanings. This aligns the text with Texas ELPS, especially the standards encouraging students to make connections between languages and transfer skills. The assessment for this activity is embedded in student work. Their bilingual labeled drawing show whether they understand the vocabulary. Also, is an optional extension asking them to write a short paragraph about the life cycle using both English and Spanish. This kind of assessment is not just about right or wrong answers. It captures how students are thinking, connecting, and communicating. In closing, language is a big bridge, not a barrier. When we give students tools to navigate and compare both languages, we are helping them succeed not just academically, but in their identities as bilingual individuals. Thank you for listening. I hope this inspires you to create more space for cross-linguistic thinking in your own classroom. Please remember our students are first and we are in charge to give you the best tools for them to have a bright future. Thank you. My main research include Dr. Rocío del Castillo Pérez Framework on Cross-Linguistic Connections, TEKS Science Standard 2.10.d, and the Texas ELPS for English learners. I also use real classroom visuals and custom anchors chart templates to support this lesson. Thank you. Thank you for your support.